Hey guys, Sneaky Snake here, brothers in arms, World of Warships, and today's video we're going to take a look at a pretty good game that I had in the ZOW playing with my boys in APOC in some clan battles. We're facing up against, in this replay, the ECOM or Easy Company clan, and we're playing some domination here on the map Hotspot. So, last week on one of our videos, somebody commented about us showing some clan battles gameplay, and we are going to start doing that here on the channel for the rest of this Clan Battles Season 2, and we will be populating these kinds of videos up on our channel from time to time. And it's a nice thing because Spider Puddin and myself are all now in APOC, so it's nice. And for this replay, all three of us are on our 7-man roster, so that's good. Now, the reason why I wanted to show you guys this replay in particular is due to just the power that the ZOW has and why it is easily my favorite ship to play in clan battles. Now, one other thing to note before I get into this, obviously the Discord chat is not available for this particular replay. I had a problem setting it up where, for some reason, back in the day, I set it up properly, and there's some other videos on our channel from a couple months ago where the Discord chat was, able to be heard. I don't know what happened to my settings. Something must have happened with Discord or the game or something, because I know for sure that I didn't change them. So we're definitely going to get some Clan Battles replays where you can hear the Discord chat, but at least for this one, you're not going to hear it. Anyway, the ZOW. Why do I like this thing so much? Well, in clan battles, generally speaking, most of the teams that I've come across only bring one destroyer. And because that's the case, most of the time, that one destroyer is going to be on the pushing side, or the side that's going to be going, at least in Hotspot's case, to the C cap. Because you can see both A and B will get taken by both teams, and then it's just a race to get over to C, and the majority of the combat on this map takes place over there. So what happens is that whatever ships you decide to send to the flank have to be able to survive and do really well on their own. And because that destroyer is generally over at sea, the ZOW is a very good choice for the flank because of its excellent concealment. Yes, the Minotaur does outspot it, but a Minotaur is not a very popular choice in clan battles. At least I haven't seen very many of them. And what you generally have on the flanks are Henri IVs or Hindenburgs, because with the Henri IV, it's extremely quick and it can get around to the flank really, really quickly. And in the Hindenburg's case, well, it's just an all-around good jack-of-all-trades kind of cruiser. It has the brutal firepower, it has the great armor, it has all that stuff. But for the really good players out there, the ZOW is honestly a sneaky good choice. And you saw it for those of you out there on our channel that participated or watched the King of the Seas tournament that just took place about a month ago. You saw a clan, Omni, the best clan on the EU per se, until Wargaming Pay to Win took the title. They had a build with two ZOWs. Now, obviously, clan battles and comp play are different, but the fact remains that in a quote-unquote competitive scene, the ZOW is perfectly viable. And I find it is a ship that you want to take to the corners of the map, you want to get to the edges on the wide flank, and utilize your range, your concealment, and your great gun performance to be able to deal lots of damage and to be able to deal with enemy ships. Now, you can see here my buddy Static behind me is in his Hindenburg, and what we're doing is moving up the one line. I have both of my spot planes active, so obviously if a ship strays a little too close and gets inside of the air detectability range, I will spot it. But because my concealment is 9.7 kilometers, any second now there's going to be an Henri IV that gets spotted just off the bow. And the ZOW has such a detection difference from the Henri IV that I'm able to control the pace and the starting point of the combat. And you also notice that I have armor piercing loaded. You can see there the Henri finally gets spotted at about 12.3 kilometers. So I'm not detected. I'm in his gray area. And right now my buddy Static is probably going to be getting detected by the Henri IV, but I still am not. So now I'm turning broadside to get all my guns into play. Obviously the Henri IV is going to be turning around, and right as he's starting his full turn to starboard, I get a full broadside salvo of armor piercing shot, loaded, shot downrange. Unfortunately, I aimed a little bit too high, and I only did 7,600 damage, but you saw right there, I was able to open up at my own leisure, and I get another salvo of armor piercing off before he is able to complete his turn, and there we go, 10,000 points of damage done to that guy. And between myself and Static, in about 20 seconds worth of combat, we've already focused that guy down to where he has less than half of his hit points, which is very, very nice. Now, I do stay a little bit too broadside, and I take about back-to-back 6.5k salvos, but right there I managed to get a double fire and 10 penetrations with the high explosive shot as I'm now kiting away using the map border. A little cheeky right there, but we don't have to talk about that. But right there, you can see the enemy is now down to 12,800 hit points, and I'm looking with my rear turrets to hopefully get another fire set since he did use his repair. So, throughout the course of that small engagement that lasted about a minute, I lost about 13,000 hit points. However, some of that will be able to come back with the heal. So I only lost about, I'd say, a little less than 10,000 total hit points, whereas my buddy Static just took a little bit of paint scratching and he only lost a couple thousand. So that Henri IV is now in a very bad situation. He lost so much of his hit points that he really can't engage us on his own terms at all for the rest of the game. And he's going to have to count on his Moskva buddy that was sitting over at A and getting some side shots into us to help him out. But of course, the Moskva also has terrible concealment. I think it's over, I don't know why, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know it's over 13 kilometers. I mean, that thing gets detected from space in cruiser terms. So I'm going to be able to control this engagement. So once again, as we made our turns back around, I tell Static to hold up, and I'm going to get out in front of him and basically be the eyes. And this is why the Zal's playstyle, at least for me in clan battles, is so much fun. Because I'm in control when there's no destroyer over here. The only thing that can counter a Zal really in the concealment is, well, another Zal that's played really well, because at the very least you're going to spot each other at the same time, and your buddy in the Hindenburg is certainly going to be getting outspotted, or, you know, whatever ship, what other ship I should say, decides to come with you. Now, at this point, you can see the score is 492 to 579. We did try to get on the CCAP, however, the ECOM guys brought a Z-52 and a Des Moines. So if they cycle their hydroacoustic and their radar effectively, they're going to be able to shut off that entire cap. You can also see my two buddies in the Hindenburg that are down there on the G and the H line are heading due to the east, and they're trying to get a flank around on the 9 and 10 line. Now, right here, the Henri IV gets spotted yet again, and you can see, because I have the armor-piercing shot loaded, I should be able to get a really nice salvo on this guy. He is turning away, but my armor-piercing will be able to get to him. Will I be able to get the kill? No, unfortunately not. I aimed a little bit too high, but I still did a very respectable 6.5, 7,000 points of damage. Now, you can also see I am angled away a slight bit from the Moskva, who has since turned in a little bit and is now sitting in the A-cap, so I am somewhat moving away from him, but we got to get this kill on the Henri IV, but he's not going to be able to get out of detection range. He's still 12 kilometers away from me, and even though he's going full speed away, we're still going to be able to get this kill shot in here really quickly. He's at 2,500 points. The next salvo falls in on his stern, and I managed to take care of that tier 10 French heavy cruiser. So now one of the ships on our flank has been dealt with, and now we feel pretty comfortable engaging this Moskva. Now, you can see here, you might be thinking again, Sneaky, you're showing a little bit too much broadside, but the Zal is one of those cruisers that you can afford to over-angle a slight bit, but it just has so much belt armor on it that it's able to deflect and ricochet a lot of the shells that are fired at it. Now, I have taken quite a few big hits, but I haven't really taken any citadels, and just the troll nature of the Zal's armor coming into play. I will admit, this is definitely not a video that I would recommend for you to pay attention to in terms of my angling per se throughout the whole video, because some of it is a bit not good, but right there you could see quite a few of those shells hitting me and ricocheting, or only taking some over-penetration damage, which is really nice. Now, at this point, you can see my buddy Static got caught in a position where he had to turn bow in. And the worst thing that you can do in a cruiser is go bow in and sit there and take it. An enemy Hindenburg now came back to reinforce his buddy in the Moskva at the A-cap. So if Static would have stayed there bow on, he would have just gotten roasted alive between the combined fires of those two cruisers. So I told him, Static, you have to speed up and turn to the right. You're probably going to take a bit of damage, maybe a couple citadels as you do that turn, but that is a risk that is well worth taking instead of just sitting in there, you know, cutting off your DPM in half and getting killed by those guys. Now, at this point, you can see he's down to 17,000 hit points, and he is taking a bit of damage, and he's trying to get away from these guys. But I have to put myself into a position where I'm going to be able to get flanking shots on the Moskva and hopefully take the pressure off of him. So when he got down to 10k hit points, he asked me if I could open fire and try to take some of the pressure off of him. And you can see immediately the priority target kicks in and tells me that 2 enemy ships are aiming at me. Obviously, it's going to be the Hindenburg and the Moskva. So now I'm turning away, and I'm trying to buy some time for Static to be able to get away and heal up. With the armor-piercing shot loaded, 10,000 points of damage off of 5 penetrations on the Hindenburg, once again showing why the Zau's AP is so darn good. And then I load the high explosive yet again, and you can see Static in this location as he's continuing his movement to the southwest is going to be able to move far enough away where they're not going to be able to get very effective shots, but even though I only have 10,000 hit points, I'm still shooting at these guys, trying to have their focus switched over to me. So at this point, the Moskva is down to 3,400 hit points. He is not looking good. Hopefully this next salvo should take care of business. He did use his repair, and he is healing himself, but you can see the Zau's high explosive shells. I mean, just look at that. Over 5,000 points of damage with 7 penetrations. That is just some awesome stuff. The fire did get taken under control because his repair was going. However, if I get another fire on him, it will stick. And there we go. 1 shell penetrates, 3 break, but I get the fire that I need. And then Static continues to blind fire into that guy. So at this point, I decided to switch my focus over to the Hindenburg, who is still shooting at him. Static is at 5,700 hit points, but he is still moving away. And like I said, he has now finally moved away far enough to where that effective fire is really not going to be able to hit him that hard. The Moskva continues to burn, and there we go. I pick up my second kill of the game as I've just cracked over 100,000 points of damage. In the meantime, my friendlies have been able to move over towards the Sea Cap. The Yu Yang is on the cap now. The 2 Hindenburgs have pushed around, and they are trying to get some focus fires on the Henri. It's 776 to 771. We have a 5-point lead here. But you can see, as I do need to get back into concealment, I do exactly that. The Hindenburg feels safe enough to turn broadside, but he is not going to be able to make this turn, and I cannot pass this shot up. He's at 43,000 hit points. Zau AP is absolutely brutal on a broadside. There we go. Double Citadel, 21,000 points of damage dealt to that guy, chunking him in half from what he originally had. And yeah, you can't pass that up. I know I only had 8,000 hit points at that point in time, but you gotta shoot that shot. And that's exactly what I did, and that Hindenburg took a monster hit. I have no idea why he decided to turn away from me like that, and I was able to open up in stealth while he was still detected. And again, that's why the Zau is so darn fun to play, and honestly, it's not for everybody. There's a lot of really good players out there in the Zau on the random server and in competitive, but it really does take a special player to utilize and be able to take advantage of this ship, because generally speaking, you're going to be shooting at very long range. You have a very low amount of hit points, so if you do take citadels, you don't have as much wiggle room as other cruisers. You also have very low DPM, so you have to make your shots count, which I have been able to do throughout the course of this replay. And not everybody is very adept at shooting at very long range with low DPM, because of course, if you don't hit your shots, then you're kind of not really doing much of anything. The enemy team did manage to take out one of our cruisers, but Spider managed to take care of the Henri, and you can see right there, 5,000 points of damage with 8 high explosive penetrations. That's just ridiculous. At this point in time, I did tell Static to turn 2 and get some long-range fire on the Hindenburg to help me out, and once again, another salvo, about 4,000. Set a fire on that guy. He is now burning in 2 places because Static hit him as well, and this next salvo should be able to take care of business between the 2 of us. I put him down to 335 hit points. He still has the 2 fires burning, and then Static, my man, manages to take care of that enemy Hindenburg. And what was, at one point, almost a 3 versus 2, or to put it more accurately, a 2 versus 2, where we were heavily outgunned in terms of DPM and hit points. We were able to prevail and not only both stay alive, but kill all 3 of the cruisers that were over here. And I really got to say that it's the power of the Zau and being able to work in concert with a pretty good cruiser player in Static in his own right. We were just able to do pretty good. And yes, there were a few times where I probably lost a little bit more hit points than I probably should have, but if we wouldn't have won this engagement on the flank, then this game would certainly have been a loss. And, you know, I think this was a pretty solid showing of the Zau. Doing 145,000 points of damage in clan battles is a very respectable amount, getting 2 kills. And now you can see with the pressure alleviated a little bit on our flank, it conversely helped our buddies over there finally get through and take care of business at the Charlie objective, and we only lost 2 ships in this game so far, which is nice. And the Yamato is actually burning at this point in time, and he will be going down any second. But yeah, this replay, not a perfect one in the Zau. Hopefully I can get another one up soon enough, but a really good showing of why this thing is so good to play. Alrighty guys, taking a look at the post-battle results, 562,000 credits received and 7.8k total XP earned. I did 145,000 points of damage off of 149 shell hits. I had 2 citadels, set 11 fires, and sank 2 enemy ships. The team score, obviously, everybody gets 2,500 base XP. Not only did I have 2 kills, but my buddy Spider had 2 kills, my buddy Puddin had 2 kills, and then Static finished off that last guy with 1 kill of his own. Taking a look at the detailed report tells a pretty nice story of, again, why I love the Zao so much. High explosive did 58,000, and the fires that I set did another 24. But the armor piercing usage, 63,000 points of damage. That's a very solid number. And the Zao AP is just so monstrously good. It has great shell velocity. It has great alpha strike at 5,600. It's a little bit less than the Hindenburg, but the penetration is much better. It has better crup. And the guns are just very comfortable to use. And this is a ship, again, really good players can just get a little bit more out of this thing than a Hindenburg, in my opinion. And this is why I just love this ship so much. Jack of all trades, Hindenburg, I got it. But for the guys out there that really want to push the limits and really want to be able to control a 1v1 engagement versus a Hindenburg or put them in really awkward situations, the Zao is definitely my cup of tea. And I think if you talk to any of the other really amazing players out there in the community, I think that they would share my thoughts pretty much on this ship. So with that being said, this is the Sneaky Snake for Brothers in Arms World of Warships signing off. Please consider giving the video a like, commenting on it, or possibly subscribing to the channel. All of it is very much appreciated. And if you guys would like to see more Clan Battles gameplay, I know I already said that there will be more coming, but please let me know if you would like to hear the Discord chat on that as well. So, this is the Sneaky Snake once again for BIA World of Warships. I'm signing off. Guys and gals, as always, have a great day.